Hello and welcome to the first episode of the Booming Boomer podcast, where we will be hosting individuals who are doing incredible things in the society, individuals that are doing extraordinary things. The goal is to showcase these individuals as well as to use their stories to inspire others that are coming behind. My name is Hadiza Isma El-Rufai, the host, and today, the guest we have today is Miss Fauziyya Muhammad Auwal, who, believe it or not, is an astronomer, and she will soon be an astronaut. Miss Fauziyya, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure, thanks for having me. My name is Fauziyya Muhammad Auwal. Was born and raised in Kaduna State local government, where I did my BSc in physics at Kaduna State University, and I'm currently pursuing my master's degree in physics as well, with a special focus in astrophysics, where I'm focusing on research on the star formation. And I'm also an astronaut candidate with Titan Space Industry. I'm passionate about STEM education and how to advance, to encourage young girls in Africa to pursue their career in space exploration.
It's good that you said to inspire young girls, because in the studio today we have an audience of one, a young lady. She's in SS3 in one of the secondary schools in Abuja. Her name is Firdausi, and she's here to listen to what you have to say, and I hope she will be inspired by you. Honestly, to be candid, I never knew somebody like you existed. When I first heard about you, I was amazed. I was really intrigued. A young lady from northern Nigeria, a Muslim young lady, a hijabi at that, wanting to go to space. I thought that was something that has to be highlighted, and we have to let people know that something like that is going on. So can you tell us really what first triggered your interest in space?
I think it began with curiosity, because ever since I was a child, I've been curious about how the stars are born, like anything related to space. But then, unfortunately, at that time, I don't know anything about astronauts, and even during high school, nobody mentioned about it. Rather, they only mentioned about solar system, which we also didn't go deeper into it. So I don't have any education idea about it. So I think I once asked my teacher, how can I reach the stars? And then he was like, no, you can already reach the skies when you are dead. So I then asked my dad, how can I reach the stars? He said, maybe you can pursue a career, even an aerospace engineer. And so from that moment, I started looking at how to be an aerospace engineer.
So your dad was the first person to suggest that to you.
Yeah.
That is really surprising. You must have an incredibly supportive
He is actually.
father.
He is.
Yes.
So from that moment, I started working on how to be an aerospace engineer. So after high school, during JAM, unfortunately, they asked me to apply for pharmacy, which I did. So I got admitted into physics department. I was skeptical about it because I was very, very young and I don't know where to start. And people kept telling me, no, you can't do physics, you're a lady. It's not a career path for ladies, this and that. So that fear was instilled in me. I believe I can't do it. So unfortunately, I think I was the lowest with GPA the first semester. So when I reached home, I told my parents, but my mom and dad, this is what I got. So my dad just looked at me and smiled. He'd be like, no, you will do better. I believe in you. So at first, I was scared that he might scold me, but then he kept pushing me. He keeps encouraging me. So since then, I started getting extra tutorials, reading harder, and I became one of the best GPAs in the girls. So I think within that moment, I kept telling my friends and classmates I want to pursue my career in space. They're like, no, it's something unrealistic and you can't do it, as we don't have mentors in that part. So at some point, I feel even ashamed to mention about space because people use me to make fun of me. People used to mock me whenever I mention about space.
It's interesting that you are talking about your father in that way. So it's interesting that just like 1 day or 2 days ago, we had the International Men's Day.
Yeah, that's
you
true.
know. So I think we don't give the men folk enough credit for what they do. That's not to say that all men are perfect, but I think they need to be given more credit. The way you're talking about your father, he's encouraging you to reach your potential is really very refreshing. I was going to ask about the difficulties you encounter on this journey. Can you tell us a bit more of that? I mean, I'm sure there were some difficulties you must have encountered, especially the fact that you are a woman. And in our kind of society, which I can say is still a bit conservative.
I think it's limited access to mentors, limited access to collaborators, limited access to learning, because I relied on self-learning. I watch everything. I watch YouTube to learn more about stars, to learn more about space. And people used to think I'm pursuing something unrealistic at first. So during my master's course first semester, I met this guy that came from AFIT who introduced me to his mentor. So I started getting some lessons from him, and then from there I applied for a scholarship in Zambia, which is mainly focused in astrophysics. So I went there for a six-month program internship. So I think it's one of the best decisions I've ever made. I get to learn technical skills. I get to learn about software applications, about space. I get to learn a lot from there. So I think at some point, even reaching there, I feel isolated at first, because I feel, no, I shouldn't have come. I should have listened to the society that I can't do because I'm a lady. Because reaching there, all the people there, like I was the first lady too there. And meeting the guys, they were all excel in the part. And for me, reaching there without knowing what software to use to get this data, what software to use to get this, maybe telescope, to access this telescope, it was quite challenging, because I don't know where to start when I reached there. So the very first meeting I had with my supervisor, he asked me several questions. Do you know how to do this? I said, no. Do you know how to do that? All in school. So he asked me, do you have to be honest? I said, if I lied, I'll be deceiving myself, because I don't know how to use any of this.
Actually, honesty is the best.
At some point, I feel like I should just come back to Nigeria. But then he was like, no, look, you have a very good career path into this, and I think you should continue and pursue into that. So I think the main part role is I put myself out there, and I was ready to learn. I asked questions if I'm unaware of what to do. If I don't know something, I usually ask the people that know how to do it. So I think it's one of the things that helps me to pass through that stages.
So we've talked about your father. Now let's talk about your mother.
Yes.
I'm a mother myself, and I'm trying to imagine if my child were to say that her ambition is to go to space. I don't know how I'll feel about that. Can you tell us how your mother feels about it? Is she not apprehensive, her baby going off to space? If she had those misgivings, how were you able to reassure her?
Well, actually, I think my mom has been very supportive as well. But then when I mentioned about space, she was excited, but then at some point she paused. She was scared. She asked so many questions. What if something happened to me and she's not there? What if somebody misjudged me? What if this happened? What if this and that? But then I sat her down, we talked about it, and she understands. She's very, very supportive as well.
That's very interesting. So now that your ultimate goal is to go to space, you're going to be trained as an astronaut for a few years in the United States of America, I hear.
Yeah.
So the goal, of course, is to go to space. So what intrigues you most about visiting outer space? What are you looking forward to experiencing?
I think to experience the wilderness, to experience seeing the Earth from a different orbit, feeling the silence of space, seeing the Earth from above. I think that's one of the most interesting parts.
Okay, recently there was a Nigerian that went to space, Chief Awolabi Silas. So how does your proposed expedition differ from his own?
Okay, I think his mission is one of the remarkable milestones for Nigeria. And his mission is more like a commercial flight with blue origin, which is designed for civilians to have an experience in space exploration. While for my mission is for Titan Space Industry, we are going to spend, I think, 5 hours in space. And we're not just going to space, we are going to conduct some research out there.
What kind of research?
It hasn't been decided because we are going to be assigned on what tasks to do. And I think for him, it's more like a tourism. But for ours, we have to undergo, before selection, we undergo through several processes, interviews, and we're going to be going on the rigorous training before, before the mission.
Okay, I think at this point, we should give our audience of one a chance to ask a question.
So, what inspired you to become an astronaut?
Okay, like I mentioned, it started with curiosity, and the fact that people are telling me I can't do it because I'm a lady. At some point, people are telling me that I can't do it because I'm a Muslim, which I think that cannot define what you can do and what you can achieve as well. So I think those challenges are the one that motivate me to do better, to pursue my career even forward.
How can students like us get involved in space science in Nigeria?
Okay, I think dedication, resilience, and consistency. And we're also trying to establish boot camps and workshops on how to guide students, because like I said earlier, I face a lot of challenges due to limited access, due to limited mentorship. So we're trying to work on that and see how we can make students to have an access on what to do and what parts to choose to be part of space exploration.
Wow. Were you ever scared of going to space, and how did you handle that fear?
I don't think, because it's something I've been excited about ever since I was a child.
You mean there was no fear at all? Not even a little niggling thing at the back of your mind?
Not really.
Wow, that's interesting, honestly. So, I think our audience would want to know how you were selected for this proposed expedition. Because you're here in Nigeria, in Kaduna State, and then we hear that you've been selected for this expedition. I would like to know the process that it took for you to get to this point.
Okay, I think last year I participated in international conference in Cape Town for Astronomical Union General Assembly. So that poster presentation has been posted into NASA website. So from there, people has been reaching out. How did you get that? How did you do that? And then this year too, like I mentioned earlier, I was awarded a scholarship to Zambia for 6 months internship, where I get to learn a lot of software application skills. And I also participated in African Astronomical Society 2025. So I think I met someone, Wanjiku from Kenya. She was also the first Kenyan astronaut candidate with Titan Space Industry. So I've been following Titans for a very, very long time, but I was skeptical and scared to reach out. So, and then something just came into me. I should just reach out. If I failed, that I should also give it a try. That doesn't mean I'm a failure.
Yeah.
So I reached out to them, and they're skeptical about it at first, but then they provide the link for me for their form. So I applied. I was skeptical about it, and I was even ashamed to tell somebody about it because I was thinking I'll be a failure. So, and then they told me that it's going to take 2 weeks for them to finish reviewing, and then within 3 days I got a feedback. Just like, oh, maybe there's a progress about this. So I went for the second process, for the second stage, and I passed through all the stages, and then they scheduled an interview with me. So the very first thing I saw was the CEO from the founder, and McBeal Otto, who is a former astronaut with NASA. So the very first thing Neil told me was, we're super, super excited to have you, Fauziyya.
Wow.
And we will receive a lot of applications from Nigerians, which we are not satisfied with them. I think I'm convinced you'll be part of the Titan space industry.
Wow.
And we're going to celebrate you. So that thing, I was like, for my mind, I was like, yeah, I finally got this.
Fauziyya, you're such an incredible young lady, honestly, and I think you can be a role model to our young people. So,
Absolutely.
what advice would you give Firdausi here about life generally and how to go about pursuing your dream?
Okay, I think the first thing is never believe you can't do it because you're a lady. Because that's one of the most things people told me about. And at first they were telling me that I can't be successful because coming from northern Nigeria, it will be difficult for the society to accept me as who I am. And I think what I can tell you is STEM education or STEM journey wasn't easy. There are setbacks, there are moments of failure too, but then I think this moment will be the one that will push you harder as long as you keep your consistency, curiosity, and resilience. And it's all full of what you call it, dedication.
Yeah, very interesting. So now that you're going to space, this is an opportunity for us, for Nigeria. What Nigerianness are you going to take with you there so that they will know that a Nigerian has come and passed through this? What is the unique Nigerian thing you're going to take along with you?
My flag, I think.
Yeah?
My flag, I think.
Your flag. You really are taking the flag.
Yeah, well, I think everyone should hold their flag, I think, like a small tag.
Yeah.
During the zero
Please,
gravity
please,
period.
please, I beg you, make sure that you leave something of ours.
Sure.
Yeah, and I understand you're taking also some maybe plants or
I
So-
think so because there is also astrobiologist in the
team.
so I think likely it might happen, but I'm not sure. But I'm not certain about it yet. Yeah.
Because we have young people listening to this podcast,
Sure.
I'd like for you to tell us what subjects someone that wants to be an astronomer should take in secondary school. Obviously, it should be science, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Which subjects specifically?
I think the most important one is physics, math, English.
Mathematics. Oh
Mathematics. English, computer science, because the world around now evolve around AI
Yes.
and computer science. So I think that's one of my challenges because during school we're not exposed to computational skills. So I think it has been quite challenging for me because I have to learn, I have to adapt, learn from the beginning during balancing research and academic work along with learning software skills was quite challenging. So I think it's one of the skills I think young ones should start learning as well.
Thank you very much. Though from the way you are talking, I know you love space so much.
Very much.
Yes. You love space so much, but please come back.
Sure.
We want you here. We want you back with us. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're most welcome. Thank you, Firdausi.
Thank you
I
for
hope
having me.
you've got some inspiration from there. Okay, I'll ask you a question. Would you like to be an astronaut?
No,
Why not?
I'm scared.
You're scared. Okay, that's fair enough.
Sure.
Not all of us can be as bold as Fauziyya.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Fauziyya.
Thank you so much.
We'll be following you closely. We look forward to hearing more about you in the future.
Yeah, I'm
Thank
looking
you.
forward to that.
So this brings us to the end of the first episode of the Booming Boomer podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. Please follow us on our social media handles, which are displayed on the screen. Thank you. Bye.